Hey, G.I. Joe fans, welcome to week 2 of Winter in August. This episode, we are reviewing the third G.I. Joe Arctic figure that we got in the vintage line. But this is the updated version of Iceberg. So, before we start looking at Iceberg, we are going to look at his file card. Arctic Assault Trooper, codename Iceberg, and there's a picture of Iceberg right there, and a G.I. Joe logo underneath that. File name is Nash Clifton L. Primary military specialty is infantry. Secondary military specialty is cold weather survivor instructor. Birthplace is Brownsville, Texas. Hey, home state boy. And his grade is E5. Iceberg grew up in hot weather. He hated it and hated it. As soon as he was old enough to enlist, he signed up for duty in Alaska. The cold is his element. He's not happy until the mercury drops well below zero. Iceberg possesses both the knowledge and ability to endure freezing temperatures. This is not to say he's impervious to the lethal effects of hypothermia, hence his specially insulated uniform with synthetic fur. He respects the cold and uses it to his advantage. Iceberg loves to thrash cobra and the mountain slopes. On his snowboard, he knows everything about Arctic combat and survival. Give him a assault rifle and a icicle, and you'll have an igloo full of prisoners before nightfall. Quote at the bottom. The quote at the bottom is posthumous from Iceberg because it's in first person. I like my food like my enemies, frozen. Which does say a good bit about Iceberg here. I don't have frostbite yet. I have the vehicle driver frostbite, but that's not really our Iceberg frostbite from the cartoon series. But let's look at his accessories. Codename Iceberg on a white figure stand, upraised G.I. Joe logo. I know it's dirty, I gotta clean it. He also comes with this backpack, which has this harness on it. Which the harness is for two things. You can store his bazooka right here, which did come with a grain missile, but I've somehow lost it. But I mean, you don't really need to have it unless you're a completist. And the other part you could store on it is his snowboard, which let me show you that he could also stand on it also. By placing the foot placing the holes in his feet and line it up with the snowboard. Let me show you what it looks like with it on it. So here he is on his snowboard. And the cool thing about it is this white button here. You can press it and out comes wings. So he could really float down that hill. It's got the G.I. Joe logo from the movies. But it is a pretty cool looking snowboard. Get him off the snowboard. But it's really cool. There's a cool little feature with it. And he also comes with his rifle, which is a lot smaller than what came with the vintage figure. So let's go ahead and take a look at our boy Iceberg. As you can see, he is an African American guy. Glad to have him in there, and with this little group of Arctic figures. But his head does rotate 360, and you can tell with it. And he also got the white hat with the green goggles. He's also got the same shoulder pistol harness that Chuckles and Recondo had from the Assault of Cobra Island 7-pack. But you can't take this off because of the fur lining. You got to take his head off to get the padding off and to remove this. But I'll keep it on. But it is very similar to the Snow Serpent's synthetic fur. He's got the white uniform, greenish shirt, green gloves, green around the bands, and he's got this symbol which I have no idea what it's for. If I can get it to focus. But if you know what that's supposed to be, you can listen in the comments below. And he's got his white uniform with the green right around here. He's got like a knife thing right there. But I don't remember him actually coming with a knife. White boots. And with his articulation, his arm can move to about up to here. He could rotate all the way around. He can bend at the elbow, rotate at the elbow. His wrist does swivel all the way around. And he does have the ankle parts where his ankle can move this way on this hand. And on this hand, it's more of a up and down kind of movement. If I could get him to cooperate with one hand. My finger's fairly loose. But his hand's supposed to go up and down on the other side. He does have the ab crunch feature, which does work. Come on, phone, focus. There we go. His ab crunch feature does work. And he does do a full split. It's mainly because the T-hook on his legs is loose. But his legs can move, kick about that high. He's got the double knee bend. His ankle can bend out that far. Bend it in. Swivel all the way around. You know, he's got good range of motion. So let's go ahead and gear him up. I'll show you bring him back when he's geared up. So here is Frostbite all geared up. And with my example being his legs are loose, you know, it does make him a little top heavy. But I know it's really cool, you know, to see him anyway. You know, but it's good to have him in the collection. I'm kind of glad the figure subscription service kind of brought him in that line. You know, hooked up, bring the snowboard things back up. But as you see, he does hold all of his accessories well. You know, I think this is a great figure. So tune in next Wednesday to see another Arctic figure, as winter in August is still going on. And always remember, knowing now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Oh, and by the way, before I go, this is a top tier figure. I kind of love Iceberg. He's a very awesome figure. But see you in the next one. Peace.